Apparently it's not good enough. There it is. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this school board meeting of November 21st, 2024. Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. And I don't mean to spring this on anyone, but Director Aparicio, would you mind reading our mission and vision statement and our values?
Our mission statement: educating each student to the highest standards while motivating them to reach their fullest potential and graduating them to be college, career, and life ready. Our vision statement: our schools are a place where children belong. Each student is known by name, strength, and need, and provided the education and opportunities to achieve success. Our values: striving for equity, inclusion, and belonging, celebrating diversity, engaging the community, supporting the whole child, promoting and achieving academic excellence.
Thank you. Please take a look at the agenda for this evening. Are there any revisions of the agenda for this evening? All right, we'll proceed. This is the moment when we pause for public comment on agenda items only. The board will accept public comments at this time for agenda items during our November 21st, 2024 board meeting. The board's committed to the public comment process and will consider all public comment seriously. Public comments for the virtual meetings will continue to follow School Board Policy BDDH, public participation in board meetings. Are there any comments on agenda items? Nope. Thank you. The next agenda item is the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of routine items such as previous board minutes, routine personnel actions, and routine financial transactions. Normally, there's little or no discussion on these items, but we can book precedent if anyone has anything to discuss. For the school board meeting minutes from October 24th, the personnel report, and the policy IGDJ, interscholastic activities, the second reading.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you both. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Consent agenda passes. Agenda item number 6, board action calendar for your review, is presented for November and December. I'll remind board members that there are opportunities to engage with the superintendent and visit schools on Fridays. Take a look at the board calendar for other opportunities to visit schools for coffee hours. Agenda item number 7, student and staff recognition. We have one, Dr. Bernal.
Thank you. Every year, OSBA, which is the Oregon School Boards Association, puts on a fall conference in November where board members can attend to learn lots of different things that school boards are doing across the state to support our students. This year, I just wanted to recognize that Dr. Richardson, our vice chair, applied and put in for a presentation called Aligning Goals for Student Success, which is all about how school boards and superintendents work together to align their goals in order to support our students' success in schools. That presentation was accepted, and so Dr. Richardson presented at this recent OSBA conference, and it was very well attended by other board members and received very positive feedback. And also I wanted to give her a shout out because she was invited by OSBA to now become a consultant to do board development with other school boards across the state. So congratulations and great work.
Thank you for that. I'm honored and in gratitude say that now the state knows Wasco County has it going on, just saying. Okay. Student representatives to the board report. Kylie.
A fellow student has reached out to both Nancy and myself in regards to the bathrooms in the school's basement being locked again due to drug use and vandalism. This has been happening for years, and simply locking the bathrooms hasn't solved the problem. This student suggests that one of the causes might be the lack of community and the unappealing environment. She proposed organizing Beautify the School events in order to improve the bathroom's appearance by painting the bathrooms with fun colors and possibly even murals. These events could further spark pride and responsibility among students, possibly adding vape detectors to deter students from drug use in the bathrooms, and public hearings by the ASB to hear input from the students are also suggested to address and solve these issues.
Thank you for that. Okay. Building student representative reports. Colonel Wright Elementary, Madeline Swanson, and Silas Ball. Do we have Colonel Wright here? They have a fall performance, so we'll come back if they join us. Chenoweth Elementary School, Elijah Kunal and Sophie Dominguez. We'd love to hear from you.
Is this on? Good evening. My name is Elijah Keenel. I'm in 5th grade at Chenoweth Elementary School. This is what is happening at Chenoweth.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Sophie Domínguez. Estoy en el 5º grado en la escuela primaria Chenoweth. Esto es lo que está pasando en Chenoweth.
Recently, for starters, tonight is Burgerville fundraiser from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Chenoweth receives 20% of the sales, so maybe drop by or DoorDash and order here.
Para empezar, esta noche es la recaudación de fondos de Burgerville. De 4 p.m. a 8 p.m., Chenoweth reciba el 20% de todas las ventas, así que quizás puedes ir o puedes DoorDash.
In other news, the coin challenge is happening at Chenoweth, and we have raised a few $100s.
En otras noticias, se está llevando a cabo el desafío de la moneda y hemos recaudado algunos cientos de dólares. Trajimos el balde de 5º grado para que puedas ayudarnos a ganar.
By the way, we forgot to bring the buckets. We finished Spirit Week last Friday. The students had fun with Pajama Day.
Terminemos la semana de espíritu el viernes pasado. Los estudiantes se divirtieron con el día de pijama.
Also, fall break starts on November 23rd.
Las vacaciones de otoño comienzan el 23 de noviembre, así que no vayas a la escuela.
3rd through 5th grade had a concert last Thursday where they had a parachute dance for 5th grade, drumsticks for 3rd grade, and recorders for 4th.
Además, los grados 3 a 5 tuvieron un musical el jueves pasado, donde tuvieron un baile en paracaídas para los quinto grado, paquetas para los de tercero y flautas dulces para los de cuarto grado.
This is the news this week. See you next month. Happy Thanksgiving.
Y esas son las noticias de esta semana. Nos vemos el mes que viene. Feliz Día de Acción de Gracias.
Thank you, Chenoe. I apologize, were there any questions for our student representative from the board? I kind of went straight into the student school reports. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Chenoweth. Dry Hollow Elementary School, Noah Anslinger and Everett Gibson Voldhoff.
Hi, I'm Noah Onslinger. And I'm Everett Vodenall. We are 5th graders from Dry Hollow. Our word of the month is responsibility. Responsibility is being accountable for your actions. Are you being responsible? The BYU dance group performed at Dry Hollow for the 3rd through 5th graders. We are thankful for such a wonderful experience. Last Friday was our PJ and Stuffy Day. The Viking students earned this by getting 1,500 Pride tickets for showing traits such as respect, kindness, and responsibility. Our annual Veterans Day Assembly was a great success. Many veteran family members attended, as well as 8 special guests from the Oregon Veterans Home. This week we are celebrating our amazing ESP staff. We started out the week off with cinnamon rolls and coffee for ESP, along with an appreciation assembly. Conferences are December 3rd and 5th, and the book fair will be happening all that week. Dry Hollow is hosting a family Christmas carol in the gym for December 12th, for Dry Hollow families on December 12th. Before we end, we would like to say a joke. Why was the turkey kicked out of the church? I don't know. Why were they kicked out? Because she had foul language. This has been Everett Vodenall and Noah Onslinger. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you, Dry Hollow, and thanks for talking about your veterans celebration. Did you know that 2 of our board members are veterans? Raise your hands. Yeah. The Dalles Middle School, Rosalind Elliott. Thank you, Rosalind.
Good evening, District 21 School Board. I'm Rosalind Elliott, ASP President here at the Dalles Middle School. As fall is now over, winter sports are here. We have boys basketball going on, and we'll have more sports more towards January. We will have wrestling and girls basketball. Our boys basketball went to Henkel last night with 2 wins and 1 loss, but they battled hard. Way to represent Wildcats. You may remember me talking about our first dance of the year. We had an awesome Shrek Swamp themed dance, and we had loads of fun. We got glow sticks, had a DJ, a photo booth, cornhole, Connect 4, and played Pin the Tail on the Donkey. TDMS and Innovation students all attended. We will be starting our canned food drive on December 6th through 13th. We will be donating all the food we collect to the Salvation Army. It's also a competition from homeroom classes. The 6th, 7th, and 8th grade winning homeroom will get donuts. From December 10th through the 16th, we will be selling candy cane grams for $1. Each candy cane gram will have a note that you can write to your friend, and the candy cane will be given out in first period. You can send them to anyone in the school. We are very excited for our holiday assembly on December 13th. We will have a blast with games. Students will be able to participate in these games and compete against other students and teachers for spirit points. The grade with the most spirit points will get a prize in homeroom. 8th graders won the last assembly and got cookies. Will they keep their streak? This week was ESP Appreciation Week. We honored our ESPs by giving them a shout out in the announcements and a little goodie bag full of goodies. We wanted to thank them for all they do for our school. It wouldn't be the same without them. We just finished our first trimester. We're 1/3 of the way through the year. Good job, Wildcats. From December 16th through the 20th, we will be having a Spirit Week to get our students in the holiday spirit. Thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you for that report. Good luck with your canned food drive. Innovations Academy is Adrian Miramontes here. Oh, innovations. Oh, we can come back if Adrian shows up. The Dallas High School, Riley Elliott.
Good evening, District 21 School Board. I'm Riley Elliott, the Dallas Executive School Board Representative and Secretary. I'll get right into all updates of all things at TDHS. ASB hosted a Sweet Treat Friday last Friday. Students who wore their PJs got a cinnamon roll before school started. There was a pennywort and canned food drive November 4th through 8th. That was a fundraiser to benefit the Yes House. We raised a total of $700 and a good amount of canned foods. A pennywort is where students add pennies to their class's stash and can sabotage other classes with either silver coins and dollars. On Halloween, ASB hosted the annual Reverse River Hawk Walk. We purchased $600 worth of candy, and all of it was gone by the end of the night. It was super great to see all the elementary schoolers pay TDHS a visit and interact with all of our high schoolers. Graphics Club hosted their haunted house the weekend before Halloween, and from personal experience, let's just say the scare actors did a great job. It was awesome to see the community so excited about coming to our school. The line was out the door with people wanting to get in. The drama department premiered their latest play this last weekend titled Deadline. Showtimes are coming up on Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Our fall sports season has ended, and the Riverhawks have some exciting athletics updates. Football finished 4th in the league, one place from a playoff spot. 10 players received all-league honor. TDHS boys soccer finished 2nd in the Tri-Valley Conference, and they won their home playoff game against Marist from Eugene, and lost their quarterfinal game to Henley High School in Klamath Falls. The girls' soccer team were the Tri-Valley champions. They won their first round game against Pendleton in TD. They lost due to a controversial penalty call on us at the quarterfinal home game. But we do have the Player of the Year on our girls' soccer team, Natalia Elias. Volleyball finished 2nd in the Tri-Valley Conference. They won their first round of the playoff game against Scappoose, and then headed to the tournament in Coos Bay. They won 2 games and lost 1, and they ended up finishing 4th. The girls' cross country was the Tri-Valley Conference champions. Elena Cassidy placed high at districts and 2nd in state. The girls' team took third place in state. Boys cross country took second at districts and second at state. Statistically, Trey Hodges was supposed to place 29 at state, but he ended up finishing 9th with his 2 teammates closely behind him. There was a cheer sideline competition in Sherwood on November 9th. They have a young team and performed great. We're looking forward to the future of TDHS cheer. Winter sports started Monday. We have girls and boys basketball, wrestling teams, swim team, ski team, and cheer, whose competition season starts after break. As this winter sports season is starting up, we would like to recognize each and every one of you board members for your ongoing support to our school during one of our home games in January. I'll be sending out an email soon. Yesterday we had a soup potluck to show our gratitude for our ESP staff. Tomorrow we will recognize our substitute teachers. Also, tomorrow after school, there will be a Hawkville party. Students will gather in the library for a potluck, and there will be tea and cards to write letters of gratitude to friends and family. We're currently in the midst of planning our up-and-coming Trimester 1 recap assembly to celebrate the trimester coming to an end. We will have a Winter Spirit Week the week before break. Check out our almost weekly talk show at TDHS Hawk Talk for more TDHS updates. That concludes the happenings at TDHS. On behalf of all ASB, we appreciate you all for your ongoing support to our teachers, school, and student body. Thank you.
Thank you, Riley. Any comments or questions for Riley or any of our students? I just want to say thank you for that report. We're so proud of all of you and how you represent us at the state level is just makes us beam, and we don't say it enough, so thank you. Okay, on to staff reports. We have D21 Education Association representative and Northwest Education Support Professionals representative.
Good evening, Dr. Bernal, NWSCD Board of Directors, members of the audience present. My name is Sonia Schutz. I'm the president of NWESP and a media assistant at Colonel Wright. I represent the classified staff of our district, including Mosier Community School.
Good evening. I'm Jody Ketchum, president of D21EA, PE teacher at Colonel Wright. I represent the licensed staff of our district, including Mosier, and we will be giving a joint report from both unions.
We would like to recognize all of our educational support professionals, or ESPs, for all their hard work. This includes those assistants that support kinder classrooms, SPED assistants, Title I, ELD, recess assistants, CELAs, media assistants, secretaries, maintenance, bus drivers, and custodians. We appreciate each and every one of them and the time and care that they give to our students every day. We are having our third annual food drive happening right now. Tubs are placed at all the schools and district office for food donations. Tubs will be picked up and organized tomorrow. Delivery is planned for Monday. Our goal is to provide food for 6 to 12 families, depending on the amount of our donations. We want to thank Ryan for making a personal donation to help with gift cards that cover perishable items for each family. We usually try to do a $50 gift card to help cover whatever perishable items they would need. We hope this helps ease the stress these families may feel heading into the holiday next week so they can focus more on their families.
As we wrap up our first trimester of the school year, teachers are reflecting. We decided to share some of our gratitudes with you this evening. It was an extremely busy trimester in our district, and teachers are grateful for the upcoming week to rest and rejuvenate. We are grateful for the successes we saw with our students, and we are looking forward to new ones in the upcoming trimesters. We are also grateful for our contract language that allows teachers the flexibility to complete their grades off campus if they so choose. We are so grateful for our ESPs and want to extend a huge thank you to each of them. The challenges of this trimester were felt by our ESPs as well. However, they continue to show up and smile and make a difference in the lives of students every day. We are grateful for our contract language, which established a district-wide committee that will meet once every trimester of each year to review our discipline data, student behaviors, and related policies and procedures. This committee is made up of building administrators, district representatives, and 2 members of our association. We had our first meeting yesterday and it went really well. We were grateful to hear from each building administrator and CJ as the district representative. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for that report. School board subcommittee reports. Is there anything from the scholarship committee, Director Winelage?
Nothing at this time.
Community outreach team, Director Nelson. I have no report from the wellness committee. Equity committee, Director Winelage.
Yes, we're planning to have our first meeting on December 9th, and we will be looking for additional members. Thank you.
Wasco County Forest Collaborative, Director Nelson. Thank you. Thank you. Great. OSBA Legislative Policy Committee, very briefly, the legislature will be in a long session soon. Our lobbyists are very busy trying to advocate for school funding pre-session, and so I'll bring any updates that we have or anything that we hear about that. The governor's budget is due the 2nd of December, so we kind of personally am waiting on pins and needles to make sure that there's adequate funding for schools in that budget. D21 Education Foundation, Director Aparicio.
No update tonight. Our next meeting is in January.
Thank you. This brings us to new business and the superintendent's report. Dr. Bernal.
Thank you. We have a couple presentations tonight. The first presentation is about our AVID program. I'd like to invite Nick Nelson, our AVID coordinator, to come and present on that. Following his presentation, there is an action item that we will request that the board take action on related to his presentation. Nick Nelson and friends. So Jim Taylor, Gabe Judah, Kurt Evans, the principal.
Test. There it is. All right, great. Good evening, and thank you for giving our team an opportunity to review and update you all with AVID in District 21. First, I'd like to express my gratitude, or our gratitude, to each of you for giving your time and energy and experience to shepherding and stewarding District 21 through challenging and at times uncharted waters. From my vantage point, I thank you for your commitment to our kids, our staff, and our community. So thank you. Tonight you will be introduced, if you're a new board member, and if you're an older board member, updated to AVID and its impact on the district over the last almost 10 years. First, I'd like to introduce Jim Taylor on my right. Jim Taylor is the site coordinator for the Dallas High School. And on my left is Gabe Judah. And Gabe is an AVID elective teacher at the Dallas High School. Not with us tonight is Val Rector. She's one of the avid elective 6th grade exploratory wheel teachers. Anna Garcia is the site coordinator for the middle school. Laura Carroll is the avid elective 7th grade teacher. And Brian Hewitt is the 8th grade avid elective teacher. And Jeff Carroll, who is critical in this process, is a counselor at the middle school. Also, I'd like to thank, and without Phil Williams and Kurt Evans' support at the Dallas High School, we would be up a creek, in other words. And I'd like to thank also Sherry Kilgore and Shudi Dada, who are the middle school administration. And we're really thrilled with the fact that Sherry's going to get an opportunity, which you'll find out a little bit later on in presentation. What I want to do tonight, or what we want to do tonight, is give you a definition and an explanation, and then hopefully in a subsequent meeting, probably in January, February, give you some more detailed information about the 2 streams that makes up AVID. We're going to go with slide 1, and you should all have this in your packet. What is AVID? And this is a brief context. Before I get to that, I want to share with you some recent data, 2021 data, and that's AVID has been in Oregon for 17 years. And there are 72 AVID districts in Oregon. There's 319 sites, 88 elementary sites, 218 secondary sites, and then 13 combined sites. In Oregon, there are 4 what are called demonstration schools. And in order to be a demonstration school, those schools have to have had extreme vetting and preparation and showing skill in implementing AVID, either AVID elective and or AVID school-wide. There are 3 middle schools in Oregon and 1 high school in Oregon that are demonstration schools. And a side note here, one of the closest ones that we have to us in our vicinity is Park Rose Middle School. And I would like to invite you, as I'll even drive, down to a showcase at this demo school. Usually they have one in the spring. So it's a fascinating time to go down and watch a whole middle school operate on all 8 cylinders with the AVID elective and AVID school-wide. Right now there's over 30,000 K-12 students in the AVID elective program in Oregon. 65% of those are free and reduced lunch kids. So it's a fantastic program. And we'll get into some details here in a second. Our first slide, there it is. I'm just going to kind of go through this real quickly. There's 7 key components to this. There's, as far as AVID is concerned, well, let me back up. There's 2 streams that AVID flows in. One is the AVID elective. The other is AVID school-wide. And we're going to talk mostly tonight about the AVID elective class. So the AVID elective class, students experience academic rigor. They go through inquiry-based learning, collaborative learning, writing and inquiry, organization, study skills, support system, and college and career readiness. AVID's proven strengths are in increased academic achievement, higher college enrollment rates, improved study and organizational skills, enhanced confidence and self-efficacy, cultivation of supportive community, equity, and access. And AVID's mission down there, can you go down a little bit? Yeah, AVID's mission is to close the opportunity gap by preparing all students for college and or career readiness and success in a global society. So that's their guiding light. Could you go to slide 2, please? Okay, The question is at the top, essential question is, how can AVID facilitate and enhance academic excellence in secondary school? What is academic excellence? More than just getting good grades on a report card is a measure of students' individual progress and growth. Merits such as high GPA, honor roll, advanced coursework, high test scores, awards and honors, competition, research projects, and independent studies, presentations, scholarships, grants, leadership roles, academic-related clubs are all avenues that lead to and provide an opportunity for students to achieve academic excellence. The vision is academic excellence is the discovery and enhancing students' gifts and talents and skills, and using those gifts and talents and skills for serving others. Tools to achieve this vision are gifted teachers, devoted and committed administrators, and a supportive public. And what is the secret sauce to use? And I believe it's AVID. Going down, could you scroll down a little bit, please? Okay, there's two streams there. Stream one is the AVID elective, as I mentioned previously. Students in the AVID elective program participate in that course, and it focuses on academic skills development. This course offers support through tutorials, study groups, targeted instruction and skills like note-taking, time management, organization, which are critical for academic success. One of the key elements of the AVID elective class is twice a week, approximately twice a week, students are involved in what are called tutorials. Our kids go through a really rigorous preparation time period on how to be a tutor. We've had, in the past, we've had MOU agreements with Columbia Gorge Community College, trying to recruit kids coming down from college to help with being AVID tutors. When that happens, they go through an extensive training just like our kids do as far as how to be an effective tutor. And I want to keep that in your mind as far as how we can accelerate learning later on in this presentation. So those, our kids can go through the tutor training process, either peer-peer or cross-grade level, where older kids can tutor younger kids. Example, high school kids could come down and tutor middle school kids. Or grade 10 kids can tutor grade 10 kids in that elective class. They're trained on how to be a tutor. And the essential part in tutoring is not giving the answer to the student, but it's like my analogy is peeling the skin off of an onion. They're trained on how to ask questions, and in the process, the student who is doing the presentation on their problem of point of confusion, they discover through the questioning process, the inquiry process, how to get to the solution. They're not given the answer. So it's a struggle, but it's a positive struggle, and all the kids are involved in it. So the second stream in AVID is what's called AVID School-Wide, and this is where it touches all the kids in a school. I want to focus in on that in a subsequent meeting. Tonight we're just kind of focusing on the AVID elective, so you can get your minds wrapped around what that is and how it works. But at a subsequent meeting, I'd like to go into more depth and detail on what the school-wide AVID elective stream is all about. All students benefit from high effect size instructional strategies. That's the other thing I want to touch on later on in a subsequent meeting. What is high effect size, and how does AVID implement that into its design to work toward academic excellence? Okay, so high effect size instructional strategies to excel in all subjects, selected activities achieved through professional development by AVID trained staff through summer institutes, regional pathways trainings, communities of practice, local PLCs, or professional learning communities, collaborative teams, and in-service events. A little side note, during COVID, we provided what was called FAST, Friday AVID Strategy Techniques or Tips. And what we did was we recorded specific instructional strategies and made those available to all secondary staff through video recordings. The focus on rigorous coursework, access to advanced courses. Avid students are encouraged to enroll in more rigorous coursework such as AP, IB, honors classes. By pushing students to challenge themselves, the program aims to raise the level of academic achievement and prepare them for college level and career level type experiences. Can you go to the, okay, yeah, there we go. At the heart of the AVID elective is what's called WICR. WICR stands for Writing, Inquiry, Collaboration, Organization, and Reading. And staff who are trained in AVID or go to Summer Institute or Pathway Trainings, their focus is on how they can incorporate WICR strategies in their lesson design. So, and those WICR strategies are pretty much all high effect size strategies. And we'll get into that next subsequent meeting. College and career readiness. Students are exposed to college and going culture. Come on up. AVID emphasizes the importance of higher education through guest speakers, field trips, to colleges, information about financial aid and scholarships, and students gain a better understanding of steps they need to take toward college and or career. Career exploration encourages students to think about a potential college career pathway, the academic requirements for those careers, and motivating them to stay focused on those long-term goals. Supporting, this is at the heart of AVID too, is supporting underrepresented students. AVID aims to close the achievement gap, the opportunity gap, by providing resources and support to students who are often underrepresented in higher education, including those from low-income backgrounds, first-gen college students, and students from minority groups. I'd like to stop for a second.
My name is Peyton.
Peyton is a guest speaker from the middle school, so thank you for coming, Peyton. I'm going to, for time's sake, I'm going to stop right there. I'd like to turn the mic over to Jim. You want to go first? Jim.
All right, thank you. I was, when the high school in North Wasco took on AVID, we got a grant from Nike, and I went with to Denver, Colorado with Nick here and AJ back there at Chenoweth, and we were trained with the teacher with the WICR strategies, which I tell you are dynamite, and I still use them to this day when I'm teaching all those WICR strategies. They really engage the writing, the inquiry, the collaboration, the organization, the reading of the students. It really kind of beefs it up, especially when you're teaching a subject like history. And, you know, I'm the only nerd that really likes the history at the time when you're teaching a bunch of ninth graders. So it's fun to have those kind of strategies and there at your belt to kind of beef things up a little bit and make it a little more entertaining, and also helping reinforce those strategies. I was also trained to be an elective teacher, and last year's graduating seniors, I had the pleasure of being with. I was with them their junior and senior year, and Susan Raffensperger had them freshman and sophomore years. These kids were the exact kind of kids that you want for AVID. All 27 kids that went through the AVID program that graduated last year, not a single one of their parents went to college. All 27 of those kids graduated from high school, walked across the stage last year. All 27 of them had plans of going to a trade school, or a college. All 27 of them, none of them were taking honors or AP classes their freshman year. By the senior year, I had a couple students that couldn't take the class, and they were mad. They have an elective because they were in AP science class, and it clashed with the time AVID was taught. But these are kids that, like myself, who my parents did not graduate from college, and they wanted me to go to college, but they didn't know how to help the kids do it. And AVID does that for those kids. It absolutely helps them not only academically prepare for college, but gets them in the position, because in junior year we go through that process of how to look at colleges, what to do, stuff I didn't have when I was a junior in high school. And I struggled to get my, that's why I'm as old as Nick here and still teaching, because I got a later start. But no, you're a little older, Nick. Sorry. But that graduating class, I think, is just it should just be a poster for what we accomplished. And all those kids wanted the AVID stoles. Nick can testify to this. I think they were in my office daily asking if the AVID stoles were there. And I said, Nick, you better get those stoles or we're going to have a riot. So, yeah, I can keep going on, and I won't. But that class it just testifies of how good the AVID program is, and does bring kids with a disadvantage up to the same level. And it did a great job.
Okay, Judah.
Hi, thanks for having me. So I teach right now the freshman AVID elective, and just maybe to help make this sort of make sense, students who have some barrier to their education can apply to be in an AVID elective class, and usually that barrier is related to parents who don't have as much experience in the education system. So then they come into my class, and we do, the AVID study skills and collaboration stuff, and we sort of build a family. And, there's this program, and 2 days a week they're supposed to do tutorials, which is when students take a problem that they're having in their other classes, and they present that problem that they cannot solve themselves to their classmates. And then their classmates help them solve the problem without giving them the answer. And so they go up to the board, they write all this stuff, right? This is my original question. This is what I know about this process. This is where I'm stuck. I need help. And then their classmates, some of whom don't have the class, help them find the answer that they have within themselves by asking questions. Rather than having a teacher or, a peer who's, already gone through the class saying, oh, the answer's X, they say, how did you get here? And is there another avenue for doing this? And where does this thing go, right? And so they just ask questions to get there. And what the kids end up with is just a much greater knowledge of their content, which is fantastic. And I mean, my freshman class 2 years ago, if I was gone, my sub lesson would say, sit back and watch these kids teach themselves. And they would walk in, they'd have their paperwork, they'd line up around the whiteboard, and they would just get right to work for an entire period working on their own. It's amazing. The thing that I was hoping to talk about, I know I'm probably running a little long here, is when you create this sort of AVID family, the elective teacher gets to be the AVID dad. And I love that part so much. And so what I get to do as the AVID dad is be that experienced adult who can encourage and motivate and push a little bit, and just be a safe place for those students. And so my AVID students now, they come to my classroom before school. They try to absorb some of my infectious enthusiasm early in the morning as they're kind of sleepy. I've got coffee in my room if that's what they need. I have a few students who hang out at lunch and just visit because my room is quiet and peaceful. During class, we celebrate every victory. Mr. Judah, I just turned a C+ into a B-. The whole class, we stopped. right? It's not about the AVID class, it's about all of their classes. It's about their education. And so we celebrate all of that. We talk about which classes, which rigorous courses to take next. They have me, an English teacher, and a speech teacher, and a literature teacher to help them, to encourage them to take some of those rigorous English courses, and then they can stop in after school, and I have AVID students doing that, right? They have this extra person with all this experience and love of education, which I have, there to support them. And the curriculum is awesome, but the fact that there's this extra layer of support, I think, really makes the program extra strong.
Hi, my name is Peyton, and I've been in AVID for 2 years. I was then there for 7th through 8th grade, and now I'm in 8th grade, and it's definitely helped me with my collaboration skills and my speaking skills. The reason why I'm here today is because of my speaking skills, and like he was saying, we do tutorials 2 times a week, and that definitely helped me understand all my classes better, and it really helped me just like get through what I needed. And today I'm in algebra, which I've always wanted to be in, and I'm only in 8th grade, and so I feel like that's a big achievement for me that I've earned from being an AVID. And both my parents didn't even graduate from high school, and so I want to be the first one to do that in my family and make my parents proud. And I also want to go to college, which is a private college, so I've been trying extra hard in AVID and trying to learn all my classes better and understand them well. And it's definitely helped me with my note-taking and how to study for my tests better and understand it more. And so it's definitely helped me with that. And then also, it's always a nice, safe place to be. I can always talk to both my teachers, my previous and now one. They're always there for me, and they never judge. And it's definitely helped me. And I made many friends in that class. And whenever I need help, I can ask them for any questions, and they always help me.
Good job. Thank you.
I want to say thank you, Peyton, and your AVID team is definitely your close cheerleaders, but I want you to look at this whole line of people here. All of us, I bet my name on it, we're all your cheerleaders for the next 4 or 5 years. We're going to be watching you. You got this, for sure.
Good job. You're probably thinking, oh, geez, how does that get funded? Well, like Jim mentioned, initially we got a Nike grant, and that helped us with some 2 or 3 years of training. So after that, subsequent to that, Measure 98, High School Success came out, and we started building a budget around that, and then Kurt has been watching over that budget like a hawk for the last 5 or 6 years. And at the high school level, that money is targeted, a large percentage of that money is targeted for, not the whole budget of Measure 98, but a section of it is used to target for summer institute training. So the high school is in pretty decent shape in terms of training. Middle school, we relied on Nike grants previously. Also the Miller grant, which has run out. The Nike grant has run out. And another grant called HECA, that's from the state legislature. They're supporting initiatives around the state, and AVID is one of them that they're supporting. So we have had, at the middle school level, for the last 4 or 5 years, we've had registration free through these grants so that we can get teachers enrolled and trained. We do have to pay for their stipends for curriculum work and lodging and food if they were going to go out of town. We've got about a 3.5 minute, do I have time still? We have a 3.5 minute video of what the AVID elective looks like. This is not our group, our kids, but this is kind of a commercialized, canned version of what the AVID elective is, I think. Maybe we can show that next time. Okay. let's try it.
Did you know that the brain is designed to forget things, which makes learning new information really hard? The focused note-taking process makes learning stick. A landmark study done in the 1880s found that people forget along a predictable curve.
We can wait on
In
it.
an
We can do
hour,
it
you will
next
forget
time.
more than half of what you've
Let's do it
learned.
the next time.
A day later, you will only remember a third. And it just keeps getting worse from there. The focused note.
Over the last decade, I've had the transformative experience of seeing Avid implemented with fidelity at showcase and demonstration in schools, high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, both in Washington and Oregon. These are showcase and demonstration at schools, and they undergo a rigorous prep and vetting process to achieve those distinctions. Educators from across the Northwest visit these schools to experience Avid in action. And again, I'd like to invite you to our schools, middle school, high school, to come and visit if you have elective. You'll see a group of kids engaged in problem solving, critical thinking, demonstrating a growth mindset under the guidance of highly trained and committed and what I call our goal anchor teachers. And I see Avid as a gain function, educational design-wise, which can be the challenge of doing more with potentially less, fulfilling the dream of closing and shutting the door with this, opening the door with respect to the opportunity gap by authentically sustaining and establishing academic excellence. So thank you for your time. And we'll get, if try with you guys to get the video next time.
I think I can do it if you want to try it one time.
Do you?
Did you know that the brain is designed to forget things, which makes learning new information really hard? The focused note-taking process makes learning stick. A landmark study done in the 1880s found that people forget along a predictable curve. In an hour, you will forget more than half of what you've learned. A day later, you will only remember a third. And it just keeps getting worse from there. The focused note-taking process is designed to help you remember what you learned. The secret is repetition. Interacting with your notes within 18 minutes will boost your recall from 55% to 100%. Revisiting your notes within one day increases your learning from 70% back to 100%. Notice the curve of forgetting changes dramatically after every interaction with your notes. Complete 5 repetitions, and the information is all but cemented in your brain.
That wasn't the one that we were looking for, but that's close enough. That's focused note-taking, and that is a high-effect instructional strategy. It has an effect size anywhere from a 0.5 to a 0.8, which is phenomenal. It's over a year's worth of growth. And so we focus in at the high school with different types of focused note-taking. Middle school has worked on focused note-taking as well. And they're working on organizational strategies too. So at a subsequent meeting, at your convenience, we would like to present a little bit more depth and detail about how we hit school-wide, which is where we're getting all kids, and how that can help the board and the superintendent reach their goal of academic excellence, supplementing what's currently going on in the district. Thank you. I do have some questions. If I may. I'm just curious. I see the numbers, and I think I've seen the presentation on this program, which I think is phenomenal, by the way. And my question is, how is the student interest in the program? There are many limitations to the ability for students to get involved if they want. Yes. What we're trying to do is it's like a professional baseball team. You have a feeder program, and for us, that's the 6th grade exploratory wheel. sixth grade kids get an opportunity each trimester to get into that avid exploratory wheel. So we're trying to enhance it that way. And then that'll feed the numbers into grade 7 and 8. And our numbers are pretty decent. We got hit with COVID a little bit, but right now, I think 23-24 last year, there were 26 total. There were 10 seventh graders and 16 eighth graders. This year the numbers are higher, so we're rebuilding the interest in that. Some of the barriers that we face with Avid Elective is that with a 5-period day, there's only a certain number of classes that you can offer. And so kids, as they go through and trickle through and get into high school, they're going to have to make some choices as far as getting in the electives that they want to prepare them for college and for CTE classes. So there is conflict there in terms of kids getting in because they have to make a choice. So that's one of the barriers that we're constantly trying to work on. Another thing that we're trying to work on too is at the middle school level, and I think Sherry and Judy are working on this and her team, offering honors classes for those kids at the middle school level so that they can get challenged and implement some of the skills that the other elected kids are getting exposed to.
So also, Adam likes students like Peyton, students that don't have that for the Agile elective, that don't have, that they prefer, matter of fact, one of the criteria is not having parents that went through college. And then the other students, like my kids, would get through the teachers that have been trained and the school-wide stuff. But the Avid Elective is more for students like Peyton, so that we can help them and push them not only academically, but give them the support they need to get to the college that they want. Does that answer your question?
It does, Jonathan. And then I see that you guys are going to go for this coming year is to see us more regularly, which is awesome. And it seems that you guys are exploring kind of an elementary version of this. And will we hear, I guess, from that later in the year? I'm just curious what that looks like. That I'm assuming it'd be different than the secondary level, and the focus would be a little bit tweaked. I imagine. Yes, it still focuses on Wicker, but it's at an elementary level, and we do have a plan. We do have a plan, but I think making the right thing at the right time is critical, and so. We don't want to do something that's right at the wrong time. We want to try to do something right at the right time and make it powerful and impactful for the kids. So, but just to give you a little bit of a taste, we want to try to get, we would like to try to get a school that would be an Avid school. And right now, we've got an agreement with Avid that if we could, our first year, we could have registration totally free for all the teachers that would go to that training from that school. So we would just basically provide stipend and travel and lodging. The other thing too is that Avid is working on setting up a summer pipe institute in Portland. Normally our teams go to Seattle or Denver or San Diego or San Antonio. But they're shutting down Seattle and they're going to try to open up Portland this coming summer. So if that happens, we'll be able to hopefully send some people to Portland to go through the Summer Institute experience. And that would be a good time to look at what we can do with the elementary. But I'm totally excited about trying to get something. We've worked with AJ, and again, and trying to get something with Chenoweth going, but the timing has to be right, I think. And I think we're pretty close to the right time. And then just lastly, just want to say thank you. You guys do phenomenal work, and it's always a pleasure hearing your guys' presentation, the great things that you're doing with kids, and then Peyton, I can't wait to see your graduation.
Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Are there any other questions for Ms. Nelson and the band? Do you have a board action item for the presentation that goes with that?
No, just we are requesting to send Principal Kilgore to the AVID conference that will be taking place December 12th through the 24th in Dallas, Texas. The registration cost is going to be covered by Oregon Higher Education Publishing Commission. And Nick Nelson has graciously offered to cover for free as admin in charge in Sherry's absence at TDMS. And so the funding request will include the flight, hotel, ground transportation, per diem expenses, and we'll be funding this out of our Title II professional learning dollars. So we're requesting approval to send Principal Kilgore in December to this conference, and the approval is because it is an out-of-state conference.
Thank you, Superintendent Bernal. Any questions for Dr. Bernal? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to approve out-of-state travel.
I'll move to approve the out-of-state travel for Principal Sherry Kilgore to attend the AVID conference in September, December 2024.
Thank you, Director Cruz, for this motion. Is there a second? Seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Director Brennan to come up and present on the 23-24 Integrated Program Annual Report. This is a requirement that we report annually on our integrated guidance progress. And there's no action required for this. We only have to present board minutes showing that it was presented to the board and an opportunity was given to ask any questions.
You're going to send me the transcript, right?
You have a few things in your packet tonight.
Because I was able to
the integrated programs annual report.
Yeah, I was going to have you show me how to do that.
It gives an overview of what we've done in regards to LPGTs, which are the longitudinal performance growth targets. These are target markers that we set at the beginning of last year in collaboration with ODE to improve overall achievement in 5 different areas: 4-year graduation rate, 5-year completion, maintain on track, 3rd grade reading achievement, and overall attendance. That data was embargoed until today, and so I couldn't include anything in here knowing that it was shared with you prior to today, but I can certainly get data to you next month just about how we are doing in regards to those LPGTs for all of our students, but also our focal students, focal groups. Two of our outcomes I highlighted having progress in this annual report. Increasing math and student increased literacy and math student outcomes with particular attention shown to focal student groups. We are really excited about how teachers are beginning to use data to inform instruction using iReady, which is the diagnostic tool that we're using for math and reading in K-8. Specifically, elementary principals decided at our June leadership retreat to have a school-wide system for interventions. And so all elementary students receive about 30 or 45 to 45-minute chunk of time every day for intervention, and that can be in any area of need, whether that's social-emotional learning, other behaviors, academic interventions like reading, Title I services. Some students may even get additional language support during that time. And so that is one area to highlight. Another is outcome E, which is reduce the gap between staff and student demographics to reflect the diversity of the student population. And while we talked about it throughout the 23-24 school year, one of the things that we are really proud of is the Grow Your Own While Growing Your DLI program grant that some of our teachers shared with you I think in September, about the work that they did and the conference that they presented at. And so we are really excited about how we are working to increase diversity of our staff to reflect that of our student demographics. Some of the barriers that I wanted to highlight one barrier to highlight was in regards to student and family engagement. And one of the things that we have noticed is that perhaps our ways of trying to engage our community and families is not ways in which they want to be engaged. And so through the intensive program, we had a recommendation approved for the community engagement assessment with public consulting group. And we are really eager to get that assessment back in terms of allowing us to learn new approaches and strategies to engage our community so that we are making decisions about what's happening in our school district with our constituents. Any questions about that? Just to highlight one other thing or two other things that you have in your packet, in case you have any questions, there's also the Early Literacy Success School District Grant annual report that is more for your information, in case you have any questions about that. And then also I gave you a copy of the Summer Learning Grant annual report that was submitted to ODE earlier this month, about a week ago. I know earlier this year when Katie Garrett and Jim Taylor shared about our summer learning programs, one of the questions that came up was if we had data to demonstrate the impact of our summer learning program. And at this point, we don't have enough data to be able to share that with you, but in time, we will. So, do any of you have any other questions or any questions?
I'll just make a comment. Thank you for your report, and I'll hold you to bringing us data next month because one of the board's goals this year is to review the LPGP data and to analyze. We believe as a board that our actions and our work can really help improve student outcomes. Some people think it's pretty meta, which maybe it is, but it relies on us at least reviewing the data and knowing what our students are.
Yeah, and I can give you a little teaser about that. Our regular attendance data we did surpass our baseline target. That is data that we have that's not relying on ODE to confirm or release. And so our baseline target for regular attenders for all students was 60%, and we were at 62%. So we surpassed that, but another even bigger celebration, I think, is that we surpassed the gap closing target for our focal group students. We set that at 52.9%, and we were at 64%. So our attendance for focal groups was actually higher than that for all of our students.
Thank you, Shannon.
I will also just add, I did receive all of the embargo data that kind of drills down on a lot of different things, and I've been working to just analyze it and see where we're at. But in addition to our regular attender data, there will be some other increases that we can celebrate. So. Lastly, I'd like to invite Courtney Middleton, who is our EL teacher at the high school, also was a former kindergarten teacher at Colonel Wright, and during the summer, she was our site supervisor for our Jumpstart kindergarten program, under the supervision of Principal Vieira at Colonel Wright. Unfortunately, he could not be here tonight. He has a 6 little one at home. So Courtney's flying solo with the presentation. So go ahead, Courtney. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Like Dr. Bernal mentioned, I was a site supervisor this summer for the Jumpstart kindergarten program.
So just so we know slide 2, please, there's a little bit of program history involved with the Jumpstart Kindergarten program. We've had the program in our district for a number of years, but this last summer, 2024, was where we were able to grow it exponentially. So prior to summer 2024, we had about 12 to 18 students each summer that we served. We did half-day sessions of about 3 hours each. There was one classroom teacher as well as one instructional assistant, and then in 2021 we added a SELA, which is a social emotional learning assistant. We have always been able to offer transportation, and we, in the half-day program, offered some snacks. So this summer, we bumped that up to 58 incoming kindergartners. We were able to do full day at 5 hours sessions. We provided breakfast and lunch to students. We continued the transportation, and then we also bumped up our staff to 5 teachers. We had 7 instructional assistants and 4 SELAs. We also had the site supervisor, that was me, and because the students attended for 5 hours, but our staff were working full days, we were able to do a professional development series each afternoon when students went home, totaling 8 hours of professional development for all of our licensed and ESP staff that served in the program. And we were able to use a curriculum program that was designed for the pre-K to K transition, where in the past it was just the teacher kind of made it up. Slide 3, please. So our wonderful teaching staff that we had included Lisa Albrecht. She's a current kindergarten teacher at Colonel Wright. We had Eliana Vaz, who's the English language specialist at Colonel Wright. Lauren True, that teaches kindergarten up at Dry Hollow. Kirsten Benko teaches in this building, actually. And Sonia Little is our TAG coordinator. So we had a wide variety of licensed teachers from all over the district that helped us out. And then the SELAs, we had Allie and Miriam from Colonel Wright. Jamie works at Chenoweth and Brent is up at Dry Hollow. So each of our SELAs had experience in all 3 different schools, which was excellent. And then instructional assistants came from Dawn from the high school, Armita's at Chenoweth, Diana's at Colonel Wright, Suzanne's at Colonel Wright, and then we were able to hire 3 people from the community that weren't current employees of our district who have worked in other programs from preschool or daycare providers so they could bring that experience as well, including Lucille Begay, Rose, and Madeline from our community. So it was a really amazing staff that we had this summer from all over. The curriculum we use is called Handwriting Without Tears. And it's not just a handwriting curriculum, although that's what it's called. It focuses on students using their whole body to form the letters and to really play with the letters and get to know those. And we were focusing on the common letters that you will see in the beginning of kindergarten, M, S, T. Those are also ones that are also pretty similar sounds in Spanish. So if we had students targeted for the DLI program, it wasn't confusing them on their way to the DLI program. And then also about numbers 1 through 5 is the focus from this curriculum. And it was really nice for all the students to be doing the same types of things, so then when teachers were able to collaborate, they could talk about how it was going. And of course, student skill sets from not able to hold a pencil to they already could write their name and everywhere in between. So this was definitely a leveled experience for them so that teachers could go up or down with it as needed. So the attendance data, we had 58 students who attended regularly, so at least 3 of the days. We did have some, it was summertime, so some vacations here and there, but we had a total of 43 of those attended 9 days, and then 22 attended all 12 days. So 22 students with perfect attendance in our summer school, which is amazing. And then we broke down the enrollment by the neighborhood schools. So 12 of the students were from the Chenoweth neighborhood, 18 were from the Dry Hollow neighborhood, and 28 were from Colonel Wright. From the Dry Hollow neighborhood, about 3 students went on to attend St. Mary's, but they live in the Dry Hollow zone, so it's possible that they will be back in our district at some point, so we included them in the data as well. And then some more details about our professional development series. This was really exciting for me as a site supervisor. I was able to plan and implement this professional development series, and I really wanted to pull talent from our district that we already have. So instead of going outside of our district to find trainers, I found trainers in-house, which was really cool. So for 2 afternoons, we did a kindergarten inclusivity training, and that was with the learning specialist at Colonel Wright, Alyssa Jones. So she helped us with some things that they see in the special education department and how classroom teachers can use those strategies in the general education rooms. And then we had engaging kindergarten families with Vice Principal being Kelly. She came out to Colonel Wright and taught us about how they engage families, because Chenoweth does an excellent job of having all of their family nights are super full, and it's amazing what they do at Chenoweth, so we wanted to explore that and get some more information so we can do that district-wide. We were able to bring a trainer from the STEM Hub. Her name was Carolyn Felderman, and she came and she gave us an amazing STEM opportunity about math and how you can incorporate hands-on math in your classroom and make that really exciting for the incoming kindergartners who want to touch everything, and so that was an amazing exploration opportunity. The science of reading, that one was by myself. I couldn't do what we are offering in our district of the series that takes place over 12 weeks, and there's sessions about it, so I kind of just did the quick and easy, and then I encouraged the teachers to take that course, which I know a lot of them did, so that's exciting as well. And then we brought in Jeremiah from Colonel Wright, as well as Abigail Cates from Colonel Wright, and they did a restorative circles for kindergartners. So something that was feedback from the kindergarten and first grade teachers is that when we hear about restorative practices, a lot of it is pretty higher level thinking. And so when you have a 5-year-old who may or may not be verbal, how can you bring those things to them? So that was a really great one to kind of put it at their level, and how can we do circles? And then just reminding that even if you have a non-verbal student, even if they can't produce the language, they can still internalize the language. So having that something in their minds as well. And then we wrapped it up with some playground and PE strategies from Vice Principal Kaiser, and then our own Allie Johnson, who was a former playground assistant, now is a special education assistant. And that was a fun way to wrap up our Learning Institute, and we'd actually go outside and play games and find out ways to engage our students in the outdoors. So that was really exciting. Part of the Jumpstart requirements, because it is a state program, is that you collect parent feedback. So we collected parent feedback in both English and Spanish. Those were the 2 languages we had represented in the program. And some feedback that we received from English. Jumpstart gives the students the opportunity to see the structure of a typical classroom, which is helpful to them. Regular communication with my child's teacher put my anxiety at ease, ensured my child always felt safe and could share feelings and thoughts. We had a wonderful comment about the bus service, so great job bus drivers. Son came home every day in great mood and reported that he loved each day of school and he felt like a big kid. The schedule was terrific and it was a great program, and I've suggested it to many other people for their children. So overall I enjoyed it, and it's really excellent that we were able to get it going in a higher level than ever before and adding more students to the program. And we are in the process, as Director Brennan also noted, from summer school to finding out how the students are doing now. We are collecting some data, and Principal Vieira will probably update that data as well. So at this time, we don't have a whole lot of data, but we are getting there. So stay tuned for more data about how the students who attended Jumpstart are doing in the regular school year. Are there any questions about the program?
Criteria for students to participate, was there any, or was it open to all, or yes? You mentioned that there was a wide range in terms of ability from the kids, so I'm just curious, are there some kids doing that preschool college, just what are the criteria to be part of it?
Yeah, so in the past, there was criteria for Jumpstart, and the way that we selected students is we asked the preschool providers to give us a list, and typically that would come from early intervention, which is also sometimes called early childhood special education. And this summer, the summer of 2024, we opened it to wider, and the only qualifications were that a child had to be 5 by September 1st and live somewhere in the North Wasco zone. So if you notice, a couple kids did end up going to St. Mary's, but because they lived in the North Wasco school zone, they qualified. So it was just an age requirement, and that was it. And so we did have inclusive classrooms. Every single classroom had students who come with an IFSP, which is basically the IEP version at the preschool level. And so we had diversity in each classroom. As I mentioned also, there were 2 languages represented in our program. There were several students who went on to go to DLI. So we definitely were able to make it more diverse than we have in years past. Thank you. That was a great presentation. Thank you, everyone. That concludes
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is Chief Financial Officer's report. Randy.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The normal financial statements, I would call your attention to on the first page, the all-state grant seems to be significantly overdrawn. That is by their design. Most of that is student investment account, and they don't pay claims for a while. We just drew down 25% of the grant, so about $800,000, so that will get largely corrected by the time I present the report for November. The enrollment report, the graph, I think is not surprising. It looks statistically identical to every other year. Had a little bump at the very first, and then as we get closer to the winter months, it falls down. Have a little rise when the students return after Christmas break, and then you'll recall we did reduce our estimate of enrollment. However, the state still has not recalculated the state school fund, so our payment in November was based on the original estimate. So, but I anticipate they'll recalculate it perhaps before the December payment. Any questions before I got a few other non-financial things to report? I guess they're financial, but not on these documents. No? Okay. One is last month the board directed staff to execute a contract with Sodexo that was chosen to do food service. That was accomplished. I met with the district manager and our new in-house food service director, who will be Tamara Taylor. She begins on December 2nd, so the interim will still be here until then, and I think maybe a week or two after she starts. We're winding up what are generally accepted accounting principles, and I remind the board that the auditor's role is to express opinion on our financial statements, but they're ours, so there is room to debate what we want to present on our financial statements, and we're not in complete agreement yet. This is earlier in the year than I usually begin sort of budget thinking. It's kind of, however, given what's going to be the PERS burden, we've been doing a little preliminary work, very preliminary. And again, the state school fund is yet to be determined, but I do not have surplus funds yet. So the state revenue forecast came out yesterday or so, and the new state economist changed the forecast looks very good, very positive. And if they can do nothing else but get more accurate on revenue forecasting so that we don't continually trigger the kicker, it will make life considerably simpler. The estimate, I mean, they're talking about another couple of $2 billion in state revenue in the next biennium. But again, one data point doesn't really make a trend. So we continue to watch that. And also, finally, I think we set in a presentation from COSA and OASBO jointly in the 23 in the long session. The legislature appropriated $9 million for special education stipends, and so we're going to that goes to licensed or classified or administrators, frankly, that spend at least 75% of their day with IEP type students.
including the sped bus driver and those kind of people. And so it's a statewide data gathering process like now, and then they'll divide it into that number. The only thing that we were less than satisfied with is that they don't provide anything for payroll taxes, so that it's taxable, but so we'll, but it, and I got no clue what it is. Their estimate was maybe $200, but I don't know. We gather the data, we have to apply, which we did, and then gather the data December something, 2nd or 3rd, and then the payment is in May or June. But again, it's not a huge deal. It helps. It's something. There is some cost to the district, obviously, for the payroll taxes, but the caution from COSA was, you know, you should take advantage of it because we don't want to go lobby and say you left it laying on the table. So, and they've got a heavy lift. The state school fund needs to get significantly bigger, and maybe this extra revenue is real, and it won't be that much of a debate, hopefully. And we have been having some rain, and we had 3-4 leaks that the roofing company came out the day that we called them and fixed the leaks, and so our warranty on those roofs is 5 years. So something came unsealed, or a drain got plugged, or something. I don't know what it was. And I think that concludes my report, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Anderson at this time? Thank you very much. The next item is Board Attorney's Report. Council. Thank you. This brings us to discussion and action items. The first action item is the OSBA resolution, amend OSBA's bylaws relating to the Pride Caucus of the Oregon School Boards Association. Members of the Oregon School Board Association have 3 resolutions this year to review and vote on during the OSBA membership electronic voting window, which is November 15th through December 15th. This is our opportunity in public meeting to discuss those amendments. We've looked at them and reviewed them. There was more information at the annual meeting provided on those amendments, and so I'll entertain discussion and a motion to approve the OSBA resolution and amendment to the OSBA's bylaws relating to the Pride Caucus.
I'll move to approve the OSBA resolution and amend OSBA's bylaws relating to the Pride Caucus of the Oregon School Board Association as presented.
Thank you, Director Nelson. Is there a second? Thank you, Director Winell. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Any abstention? The ayes have it. The motion passes. The second action item is the OSBA resolution to amend the OSBA dues schedule. So members of the Oregon School Boards Association have 3 resolutions this year to review and vote on during the OSBA membership electronic voting window, which is November 15th through December 15th. This is on the same docket. I'll entertain a motion to approve the OSBA resolution to amend the OSBA dues schedule as presented. Is there a motion? Yes, Director Nelson.
So this is Randy. The dues that we are paying and then the increase that they're predicting, where do we stand on that, and can we afford that, considering our budget
difference? This is not going to be the only thing that increases in price. So my estimate is that operating costs in general typically go up 2% or so. So, but they won't all. So am I concerned about it? I don't believe so. No.
I'd like to make a comment. Can we hold them accountable if we don't get what we want?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I move to approve the OSBA resolution to amend the OSBA dues schedule as presented.
Thank you, Director Nelson. Is there a second? Thank you, Director Aparicio. There's been a motion and a second. Is there discussion? At this time, I'll explain an abstention for this vote due to potential contracting relationship with OSBA. I will abstain. Everyone in favor of this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone no? And I will abstain. Any other abstentions? Director Winelledge will also abstain. So 1, 2, 3. 3 yes, 2 abstentions. Thank you. The third action item is the OSBA resolution to amend the OSBA 2023 bylaws. This is the motion to approve the OSBA resolution to amend the OSBA 2023 bylaws as presented in the packet.
So the motion does not pass, it's only 3.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank
the
you for
motion
correction.
fails.
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion fails then. That's on the dues. Yeah, thank you. Are we ready to move on to the last one? Okay, so that one is the OSBA resolution to amend the OSBA 2023 bylaws. The content is in the packet, and I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the OSBA resolution to amend the OSBA 2023 bylaws as presented.
Thank you, Director Nelson. Is there a second? Thank you, Director Aparicio. Is there any discussion? All in favor of approving the OSBA resolution to amend the OSBA 2023 bylaws as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? That's 5 ayes. That motion passes. Thank you. We will enter that vote on behalf of North Wasco School Board, the OSBA. Okay. Correct. The next action item is the cooperative sports agreement with Dufur School District Boys and Girls Wrestling. Principal Evans.
Check. Good evening, everyone. Just real quick, I want to, before we get to the co-op agreement, just make mention again, echo what Riley talked to you about. 5 of our 6 sports teams going deep into the playoffs is just really remarkable. Not too many schools across the state do that. We brought home 3 trophies, state trophies. Boys second place at state in cross country, girls third place in cross country, and then our volleyball team 4th. So just a remarkable athletic season. So this is a co-op agreement that we have done for many years. This year is with boys wrestling and girls wrestling with Dufur School District. Just they have 1 athlete in each of those sports, and they're requesting to co-op with us. And it keeps us well under our cap to stay 4A with this agreement, so I don't have any problem with it. So just requesting that you approve that.
Questions for Principal Evans?
I noticed those are different in duration. The girls is only for 1 year, where the boys is for 2 years. Is that by virtue of their class standing for the athletes? As in, is there a boy that's a junior that is going to wrestle for us junior and senior? And
I thought they were both for 2 years. I'm
the printout I have.
If that's how it came about, I'm not sure why I didn't. I guess I didn't realize. I saw the boys came first. The agreement came from Dufur first, and then for the boys, and then it came for the girl second. So I guess I didn't look that closely at it, but I was under the assumption they were for both for 2 years. But however it's written is fine. We can do 2 years for boys and 1 year for girls if that's how it's written.
The drawback of doing 1 year for each?
I have to come back again and do this. Yeah, that's the only drawback. The advantage of doing a 1 year is because we are close to that mark, 607. So combined, we'll be at 590, and 607 is that mark. OSA allows for a 10% overage if there's a co-op that causes the overage. So we're alone, we're 535. So we still have quite a bit of room. I don't anticipate our numbers with the 8th grade class coming in putting us way high or anything, and neither does Dufer. So I didn't have a problem with the 2 year, but there's no problem. Mike will just come back in a year if she wants to wrestle again and do it again. So it's not a problem on our end, but I would recommend approving it the way it is because chances are they approved it in Dufer at that, however it's written. So.
Other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the cooperative sports agreement with Dufer School District with boys and girls wrestling.
I move to approve the cooperative sports agreement with Dufer School District for both girls and boys wrestling.
Motion been made by Director Nelson. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. This motion passes. Thank you. Good luck to the wrestlers. There's a first reading on school board policies, policy GCBDA, GDBDA, family medical leave. That's in your packet. I'll leave that to you to read. This is information only. There's a new policy, policy JEC, first reading, admissions.
Vice Chair
Yes.
Richardson, just to give context, since there's no narrative with that policy, it is a new policy. We've been going through, as you know, we were identified for federal monitoring of all of our title dollars, and one of those title dollars is our McKinney-Vento houseless students and our foster children. And we completed our self-assessment, which we have submitted ahead of the deadline, which was December 2nd. We had to submit our own self-assessment, which we collaborated on as a cabinet team. And as we were going through all of the different questions on all of the different funding sources, one of them was, do we have a policy specifically for our McKinney-Vento houseless and foster students that states that we will not deny them access to attend school due to their status as either houseless or foster, which we do not. And so this is that step in bringing that piece into compliance.
So that's why it's all in blue, because it's new.
Yes.
And it need to be a standalone policy? It couldn't be additional language to a different policy?
We have, I believe, so we currently have an enrollment policy, but we don't have an admissions policy that currently outlines. Okay. So we reached out to OSBA for sample policies for admissions policy, and we're going off of what they recommended. Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you for that question. The next policy for first reading in your packet is policy GCBDF, GDBDF, paid family medical leave insurance. And then we have policy AC, non-discrimination. Those are all in your packet. There is recommended language in the non-discrimination and civil rights policy AC to look at. Is there a recommendation for whether we accept the bracketed language? Under the Human Resources Director is the District Civil Rights Coordinator, and number 8.
The recommendation is will.
Is will?
Which one are you on? I'm sorry.
Sorry, non-discrimination, AEC, page 2 for the...
Sorry. Hold on. Yeah, are you on policy AC? Okay.
Yeah, it's the section relating to civil rights coordinator. There's a few bracketed sections.
Maybe, did they not get the updated? Oh, got you.
Oh.
Yeah. Not yet. We will
Okay.
give you the recommendation
Well,
ahead of approval.
think about it, board members.
Yes, sorry.
If there you have
Yes,
an
I see,
opinion.
number 8, there's the bracketed language, yes.
And
We will
we'll
give you that recommendation
seek
ahead of.
recommendation.
Ahead
I
of
have a strong
approval.
feeling we can discuss it.
Apologies.
No worries. That's good.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then finally, we have for information only, policy AC-AR, related to this discrimination or civil rights complaint procedure.
Yes, and in there, we have put the recommended language.
Thank you. Yes,
I hate to do this, but could we go back to policy JEC?
certainly, policy JAC? JEC.
Admissions?
Yes.
That's the new policy?
Mhm.
Okay, when I was reading this, the last paragraph in the policy doesn't make sense to me because the sentence isn't complete. So and then I went back and I read all the other paragraphs and they're all complete. But this just ends, just standing there and there's a cliff. So it says, students whose parents or guardian voluntarily place the child outside the child's home with a public or private agency and who is living in a licensed, certified, or approved substitute care program and whose residency is established pursuant to Oregon revised statute. Period. Doesn't go anywhere, it's not complete. What happens there?
It just means that we won't deny admission to a student who qualifies under that paragraph.
It's part of a list, I think,
It
if you look
is.
back, Director Nelson.
It's part of a list of all the ones that we are required to ensure.
What you're talking about is the law there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, it's weird. And then I just caught one other little mistake on that page. You have students who are military children are considered resident, but shouldn't that be residents?
Yes, we can add the S. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that.
No,
but
no
I
worries.
didn't understand that.
No apologies. This is a benefit of having a diverse board and former teachers on the board. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Great. Any other comments? All that content. Okay. This brings us to comments from the audience about non-agenda items. The board will accept public comments for the November 21st meeting. The board is committed to the public comment process and will consider all public comments seriously. Public comments are for virtual meetings will continue to follow School Board Policy BDDH, public participation in board meetings. Please note anyone wishing to sign up and speak during the public comment section of the agenda will follow Board Policy BDDH, public participation in board meetings, which states a person speaking during the designated portion of the agenda for public comment may offer objective criticism of district operations and programs. The board will not hear comments regarding any individual district staff member. The board chair will direct the visitor to the procedures and policy, board policy KL, complaints for considerations of a legitimate complaint involving a staff member. A commendation involving a staff member should be sent to the superintendent, who will forward it to the employee, a supervisor, and the board. Are there any public comments this evening?